Hey everybody, and welcome back to the 2021-2022 season of Hawk Talk. I'm super excited. We're gonna have a lot of faces around here, a lot of different people. We've got Kierra Schneider, Gunnar Farsby, and possibly my next co-host right here, directly to the right of me. But I got somebody that I want you to meet. So I've got Hillary Moberg, Student Body President. She is in charge of all of the student activities on campus, kind of do monies-wise and all that fun stuff. But Hillary's here to talk about all of these student events. So what do we got going on, Hillary?
We've got a lot of things going on. We got some highlights from Keith James. He wanted us to highlight that we have our first home football game on September 11th. We have a Harvest Festival, which will be hosted at DSU in conjunction with the Dickinson Area Chamber of Commerce, and that will be September 18th. And then DSU Homecoming is October 9th. In addition to those highlights, if you're looking for more information, we have a calendar of events. So you just go to the DSU website, which is dickinsonstate.edu. There is an About tab, and under that there's an About DSU page, which will have the events calendar. At that same homepage, you can find a Student Life tab, and under that will be the student activities and facilities information, which will have intramurals and other information like that. And then there's also a clubs and organizations tab under Student Life, which will have all the clubs and organizations that DSU offers, as well as the contact information for their advisors. So you can send them an email or give them a call if you'd like to learn more about what they're offering.
All right. Well, so you're the Student Body President. Why should people look at Student Body? Like, why is that important here at DSU?
The student body is what makes up DSU. We wouldn't be able to have our university without the students here. So it's really important to be involved on campus and reach out for being part of the student body and being an active member. It really adds to the experience. And Student Senate, we offer a lot of ways for students to get involved on campus, like promotions at attending games. We'll give out shirts and that sort of thing. Like this shirt I'm wearing right now was a giveaway we did last year. And we have extra shirts, so if you follow us on our social media, you might be able to participate in a giveaway. Our Instagram is DSU Hawks Are Up, and then our Twitter is at DSU Senate. So if you follow those, you'll see giveaways that we have, other information about student body related activities, and yeah, updates on everything that's going on.
So I'm a part of Student Senate as well. I'm the treasurer, but I want to ask you, do we have anything going on, anything planned up for Student Senate going on so far?
Student Senate helped a little bit with the Weekend of Welcome activities. We were helping with moving students into the dorms, so resident life. And then there was a mentalist and a hypnotist who were both on campus, and some of our senators were attending that and kind of promoting that. But otherwise, we have our first meeting coming up this week to kind of plan a great schedule. And we're going to try to get those giveaways out and plan events, seeing if we can put on some of those shows or bring people onto campus, that sort of thing. If anyone has suggestions for things they would like to see on campus, they can certainly contact any of the senators. On that same DSU website, we have a directory, and all of the senators are listed on that directory. So you can look up Student Senate and you'll see a list of our names. And then in addition, we will be having elections coming up probably in the start of September. We'll be sending out an email for new freshmen and other maybe transfer students if they are just hearing about it, or returning students who maybe have an interest in joining. We'll be electing 4 new senators. So those are sort of our big updates, but if you follow those social media accounts, like I said, or check your student email, we'll send out things to the listserv from our account for all the updates that you need to know.
Well, all right. And I do have to kind of point this out. Hillary is the youngest sister of a former Hawk Talk host, Susanna Moberg. So Hillary, thank you very much for coming on and kind of keeping that Moberg last name alive here on Hawk Talk.
Happy to do it.
Thank you very much. We'll be right back with an on-location interview right after this. And here we're in location in Coach Stan's office. So Coach Stan, it's kind of a tradition we get you on the very first episode of Hawk Talk. I mean, is that kind of like a legacy you wanted to leave here?
I don't know about that. I feel honored, Coulter. You have me do that first, and I think it's always good to kick off the year and get started, and we appreciate everything you do with this.
Well, I'm very excited to be interviewing you on location. It's kind of weird. What do you think about it?
Well, I think it's all right. You know, you and I have been here before, and it's good to be able to do it right here, and you know, it's just a good start to the year, and every change is good too, right? You got to adjust, you got to adapt. We talked about that all the time on the field, and now we do it here. So
next week, our very first football game, it's against Black Hills State University. Yeah, Black Hills State University. I definitely know that. What are we looking at for Black Hills?
You know, it's really an unknown for us with Black Hills. You know, it used to be a longtime rival of ours when we were playing in the DAC-10. We played for many years, and if you go back really into the 1970s, then Dickinson, and a little history on that, Dickinson State and Black Hills would always be the opening game. You know, through all the 1970s, 1980s, really into the 1990s. That was the first game we played, and it was a non-conference game. Then at about 2000, the DAC formed, and then we were actually the North Dakota schools and South Dakota schools were together. So then for many years, not only did we play them, but they were rivals. And then we had some really good games in those years up until about 2010 or 11 when they transitioned to Division II. As far as their current team, it's really a lot of unknowns. You know, they came in with a whole new coaching staff a year ago, and their conference didn't play. They end up only playing 2 games due to COVID, and then they end up canceling the rest of them. So they played 2 games last fall, and they didn't play in the spring. So it's a new coaching staff, a new team, and a team that we've seen very little of.
Well, talking about a new team, a lot of our players came back actually. We have Tiger Fry, Matt Day. They're bringing a lot back to the football team, so it's going to be a really good game on Thursday.
Yeah, you know, we're glad to have those guys back. You know, when they got the extra year of COVID and just worked out academically for either them to take the master's degree, and Nick Miller in that case, could start his master's degree, and he was our leading tackler last year, and so he's back, and Tiger being our all-time leading receiver there, and Matt Day being an All-American on the offensive line. So yeah, even that definitely helped getting some of those players back. And then of course we have a lot of returners back, on offense with obviously we return our quarterback and most of our running backs, and then having the receiving core that we have, back with Tiger and Connor McCarville and Noah Sickler and Isaiah Clute, and then we had guys like Caden Kuntz who transferred from NDSU, and so yeah, we think offensively that, and returning most of those offensive linemen that we had last year is big for us. I think just then the defensive side, there's going to be some question marks. We returned most of the secondary, so that's always a good thing, and just some question marks up front. We've got a lot of young guys doing their thing, trying to work their way in.
Perfect. Well, Coach, thank you very much. It's not too bad of an interview inside your office.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Thanks for all you do, and it's looking forward to a great year. We have a record number of athletes this year, and we're over 430 athletes this year. That's the first time we've had that in many years, and things are going to really be moving fast here, and a lot of things going on. It's an exciting time of year for sure.
Perfect. Well, we'll be right back with another special interview right after this.
Hey Hawk fans, welcome to the very first Hawk Talk sequel. I'm here today with President Easton at the President's Picnic. We just had convocation, it was a great time. Thank you so much for being here with me today.
Thanks, Kierra, thanks for having me. Fun to talk to you.
Yeah, absolutely. So the first question I want to ask you is, do presidents get off time? Do you have a summer vacation? What did you do this summer?
Not too much. Had a wedding to go to for a family, and we went to the Black Hills and met another couple. That was it for the summer.
Awesome. So what kind of things do you do to prepare for the school year during the summer?
There's always some new programs. We're bringing welding online this fall, so there's always some last steps doing that. I try to work my way through my email inbox, but don't ask me how many emails are in there, because I wouldn't want to have to admit it. It's I never quite get down to where I want it to be. And there's, we've had, we had some interesting issues with Pulver Hall over the summer where we were trying to finish it and then we couldn't finish it. Now we hope to be trying to finish it again. So that kind of stuff.
Awesome, thank you. So what do you look forward to most when students arrive back on campus? Just for the school year overall, what do you look forward to the most?
There's nothing like students coming back. We all would have to admit that, when graduation comes and there's a little time when we're all away from each other, for a moment or two that feels good, but it's always great when students get back. That's why we're here,
Yeah.
And the enthusiasm of students getting back, there's nothing that beats that. That's why we exist, is for students.
I 100% agree. I went in to May Hall the other day for some financial things I needed to take care of, and there were muffins and coffee and all kinds of things, so you can see DSU really does take care of its students, and that's great. So you're talking a little bit about Pulver Hall. Do you want to elaborate on that a little bit? What can we expect?
Well, we're not that far from being done, but we're trying to work out some, I'll call them bureaucratic issues, so that we can finish it off. It's going to be a couple months. We're hoping to make it quick. Sooner than that, of course, the other thing that happened in the summer is we announced the new Stanford sports complex, which is going to have the softball field that our team deserves. One of our best programs, and they've been playing on. I don't want to sound ungrateful for the high school allowing us to play on its field, but both the high school and we recognize we need a much better playing arena for our softball team. They got to the national tournament last year, as they often have. So that was another big thing that happened over the summer.
Yeah, well deserved for that program. They're great. They're awesome. Full of great athletes, great people. So moving forward, we had some restrictions last year because of COVID-19. This year with COVID Delta, what can DSU expect moving forward?
Oh man, are you going to put this on tape? We are starting out as, last year, of course, we were masks required indoors. This year we are, I don't know if I have a mask in my pocket or not. This year we are masks recommended, and then individual faculty, staff members, or coaches can require masks.
Okay.
And from what I've seen, we're probably... all of us, not just DSU, but all of us are going to have a spike in COVID cases. The number one thing I want to say is we'd love it if everybody would get vaccinated. It's an individual choice. We're not requiring it, but it really makes everything a lot better if people get vaccinated.
Sure. So you are an alumni of Dickinson State University. So what's one thing that has changed the most since you've graduated? And then one thing that has remained.
Oh, wow. Lots of things have changed. I actually lived in Kleinfelter Hall. It was a men's dorm when I was a student here. So, and then it kind of went into sort of a state of unuse, and now it's wonderful. I mean, it's turned into a great building. But I would say probably the technology in teaching. And this, Hawk Talk, and we're able to broadcast our games, so parents and friends and family of athletes from all over the country, all over the world actually, can see those games. There was nothing like that in my day. So probably technology is the biggest thing. Changed. The thing that hasn't changed is Dickinson State is still a school that's all about personal attention. When I'm selling Dickinson State to prospective students, I'm telling them, the only reason not to come to Dickinson State is if you want to be anonymous, because nobody's anonymous here. Right. Everybody has close friends, faculty, staff, coaches. We're a small school that with lots of opportunities. That was true in my day too. That theater, music, sports. We've added sports, cheer. Cheer as a competitive sport. That's something that's changed. So we have more sports than we had in my day, but it's all the thing that hasn't changed is Dickinson State's about personal attention. It's a huge asset in college. Huge asset in college.
I 100% agree with you on that. I know I already asked what you're looking forward to the most this school year, but what is your favorite season for the school year and why?
Oh, it's each one has its each one has its charm, but fall's pretty cool. Fall is our biggest events are football games. I mean, I love all the sports. I really do. I love going to all the sports. But football brings in music, it brings in cheer, it brings the most students and other people, and we're going to have tailgating again this year. So it's hard to beat fall. It's hard to beat the beginning of fall.
Yes.
The end of fall,
There you go.
that's a little tougher. But I do like fall.
I agree. There's just something about Hawk football games. Can't beat it. So lastly, I just want to give you a little shout out. You're the author of a book, correct?
Yeah, a couple, but yes, that's right. Yeah.
Wow.
I am. Those books are in law. I mean, I was a law professor for over 2 decades before I got into this administration gig. And so my specialty was teaching about trials, about how to be effective in the courtroom. So I do have a couple books in that area. Yeah. Well, I guess I got 2 single, but most of them are co-authored. A couple that I wrote on my own. But I'm no Stacey Cordery. You got to talk to Stacey Cordery, our new Donna Von Johnson, TRHLP chair. She has 4 books.
Wow.
The 5th one's going to come out real soon. And she has books that people actually buy and read.
Really?
I have the kind of books that people put in their office up on a shelf and consult every once in a while. Her books people read, so you got to get her on Hawk Talk. She's a pretty exciting addition this year. And that's another thing. We've got about 10 new faculty members. We've got a lot of long-time dedicated faculty, some really intriguing new faculty members. Dr. Cordery, we have a new faculty member who has visited over 100 countries. We have a separate faculty member from Denmark and then quite a few of our faculty members have connections to southwestern North Dakota, including one alum that we just hired as a faculty.
Wow.
So we got a nice mix. Really excited about our new faculty. You didn't ask me that question, but what the heck?
It's always great when you can continue the legacy as a Hawk. I'm sure you graduate and then you come back to be a professor. That's awesome. So the last question I have for you is, if there's one thing that you want students, faculty, staff to know about you, what would that be?
I guess I would say, I hope people will think about me that I care a lot about Dickinson State. I'm very passionate about Dickinson State. Every once in a while that gets me into trouble, but I'm very passionate about Dickinson State. So if that's one thing that people take away, I mean, I really believe in this place. 4 generations of my family attended here. And if it was one thing I'd want them to think about me, that would be it, that I really care.
That's great. Well, thank you so much for being on the first ever Hawk Talk sequel. Thanks, guys. Hawks are up.
And welcome back for the recap. I didn't say this in the very first part, but I'm Coulter Hickok. So I'm joined here again with Hillary Moberg. And Hillary, we got a lot of things going on campus. You want to mention some of the things?
Yes, so for sports, we've got football, volleyball, and cross country all in full swing. And on the football front, this year we have our first home game on September 11th. And I will be joining Coulter as a co-host of Blue Hawk Game Day. So it'll be similar to Hawk Talk, but just a pre-game show that we'll do at the tailgate. And you'll be able to watch it the same place you do in Hawk Talk.
Blue Hawk Game Day, a lot of fun. We had a little bit of a different format where we weren't allowed to have the tailgates last year just due to COVID-19. So we brought them to the actual football field, but now we're going to go back to the tailgates. So it's going to be a lot of fun. But then we're going to be pushing out a lot of different videos on our social medias. We're going to be doing a lot of more school-oriented stuff with Kierra Schneider, going to be on location here at DSU. Then we're going to have Gunnar Farsby. He'll be coming in whenever he's done with football. So there's going to be a lot of stuff coming at you on all of our social medias, at DSU Heritage Fund on Twitter and at DSU Foundation on Instagram. Glad I remember those. Thanks, Trace, for putting them up there. So Once again, a huge thank you to our guests, Hillary Moberg, Coach Pete Stanton, and President Steve Easton. If you like our on-campus interviews, please let us know on our social medias. But thank you to all the fans. Without you, the show isn't possible. Catch you next week, but until then, Hawks are up.